I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for some seaside myself.
Well, see, I'm hoping for that to go somewhere around 6 or so.
Hey!
Okay. Are we gonna have world free?
We got world free! So one of the things that's randomized is the pipe routing, and because there's a pipe right at the end of the world, our runners just get to go right to the castle. And it's the World 5 airship. Although the airship is randomized, the Koopa Kid is linked to the world, so we showed up in Seaside, therefore Wendy Koopa will be our confrontation.
And it's 1. And we don't know how many it's going to be for Wendy.
At least she's not an earthquake Wendy. Oh,
Yeah.
both runners taking a death on the airship to Wendy. That's the hard part with getting early Wendy, is you don't have any items to go in with if you end up taking a death.
Yeah.
Oh, Leslie's so close.
Well, we know it's at least a 4. We know it's at least a 4-hit Wendy.
Man, Wendy is just depleting these runners' lives.
Weatherman 15 in chat says about the only options to play a few other levels for items, but why would you want to do that?
And it is indeed a 4-hit Wendy. Leslie Pro 04 finishing up with World Free.
See, that's why I wanted to see Seaside a little later. Because I wanted to see a world free, but I did not want to see the first world just be done that fast. We know you have a choice in ships, and we appreciate your business at Koopa Airships.
And World 2 is World 2.
Fred?
And the first level of World 2 is 6-3.
Now, if you note, the auto-scrollers are gone. With the exception of one of the beta levels.
Oh no, Sharky's down to the last life. Make it a game over here.
Well, it's not like that's really that big of a... It's not like that's that big of a hardship in World Free.
Two or three extra screens. And Leslie's trying to clip over the level. Oh no, Sharky got that game over. He decides not to try it again and just to play it through. And we've got 6-9 on Leslie Pro's side of the field.
Ew.
I mean, there are worse things you could get than 6-9, I'm sure.
You could get Atlantis. You could get Atlantis. You could get 8-2.
Man, Wendy not giving Sharky a break.
Yeah, that's rough on... Sharky's having a rough time on that.
Leslie should also be very careful, because he's down to 0 lives. Sometimes a runner might take an intentional game over to get those lives back up, but I don't think we'll see that until at least after the fortress is cleared.
Right, because the fortress will stay cleared.
Yes, Wed Wizwobe, you can get 7-5 with a box pass. I watched a seed earlier tonight where that thing happened.
And Sharky is through Wendy.
And Leslie finds himself in the ground fort.
Oh, 5 Fort 1. Yeah, Wendy's a pretty rough Koopa Kid fight.
And the princess deciding she wants to rickroll us. Thanks for that, Peach.
Well, she is never going to give us up and never going to let us down.
The question here is Leslie going to decide to go for the intentional game over, or is he going to try to see it through?
And oh shoot, I recognize this level and I don't remember which one it is.
Leslie, he's in 2-3.
Fred?
Well, Leslie might not need to take the intentional game over. If he decides to take the stars, he'll get 5 extra lives from that.
Right, and
it's exactly what he's going for.
Yep. Even not knowing where my opponent is, I probably would.
Sharky struggling through 6-9. Leslie Pro going back for an end card. Stars get a match. So like we said a little earlier, we match stars, but that's not really a star. It's actually a fire flower. First Sledge Brother gives us a cloud, which is one of the more valuable items in Tourney Flags 1.
Well, let's be fair. It's a valuable item in any set of flags.
Oh no, Leslie's contending against a boss bass here in 2-1. And Sharky's going for the life roulette game. We don't really see that come up very often in these randomizers.
Well, when you're hitting 0 lives... Oh, that's a 3... 3?
On Leslie's side, yeah, that's 7-4. That is 7-4, my friends.
Ew.
My least favorite level in the game, but it's normally an underwater auto-scroller, but without the auto-scroll, he's just kind of flying right through it.
Without the auto-scroll, it's a lot easier. Not easy, but easier.
Because normally you have to go up and around and down and back, and he just kind of flew through it.
And through all of those electric jellyfish.
Now here's the real question. Does Sharky not know how to get through 6-9? Looks like he found the solution. And a star out of the Hammer Brother. Pyramid level looks to be 3-4.
Which is one of my favorite levels because it's just so bloomin' easy.
Speaking of blooming easy, Sharky made his way through the ground fort, going to face off against Boom Boom. I wouldn't be surprised if he took an intentional game over here to restock that life counter. And Leslie's going to the airship, which is our good friend, the World 7 airship.
But it doesn't look like he's doing that.
Getting his cloud. Leslie off to face off against Morton.
That World 7 airship was always a bear.
We got Thick Morton, but he only takes 2 hits to KO. King, what are you even talking about?
King, you are not Mylon Z.
So something interesting to talk about is Leslie just got an anchor from the letter from Princess Peach. Normally an anchor would hold the airship down if you were to lose the fight, but in the randomizer the airship doesn't move, so the anchor randomizes itself to be any item. (4-1), we're seeing a 7-6. This is one of 2 levels in the game you can clip through if you jump it at the right angle at the right time. And he gets the clip.
That is not an easy clip to get, but it saves a massive amount of time. You can miss that clip, what is it, 10 times and still save time? Overdoing the level?
Not sure. Leslie getting a couple more matches, and looks like he's going to be playing the race. Piranha Race. 7-7.
Ew.
Sharky opting to take a Mushroom House, hoping to get an item that'll help him out. Since he's back down to 0 lives, gets himself a leaf.
Well, at least Leslie is going through this as Fire Mario, so it's not like he's going through it as Little Mario.
And what you're seeing on Sharky's side of the board is one of the 8 beta stages in the game. This looks like a beta 3-4. So, the end card game did give out clouds. Leslie might continue to play them if that's the case.
That is Donut Lift level
3-6.
Sorry, like I said earlier, I don't necessarily recognize all the levels, but I usually recognize what world they're from.
Sharky avoiding getting sledged and grabs a star, while Leslie is now playing the second World 4 Fortress.
With a little bit of a rude hotfoot placement. And that would be 2-5. if my memory serves me correctly.
Almost. It's 2-4.
Then which one's 2-5?
2-5 is the chain chomp level.
Oh, 2-5 is chain chomps.
Well, Sharky going against Morton. He's about a quarter of the way through the World 7 airship. Leslie taking a pit stop at the Mushroom House, getting a leaf. And the first Hammer Brother of World 4 has a hammer.
Halt! For the hour of the hammer is upon us.
And Sharky finishes off Morton. He's going to be on his way to catching up to Leslie. There's 2-5.
There's Turtle Rock. I mean 2-5. Sorry, I've been in Link to the Past Plando mode, which is also running on the Speed Gaming family of channels. There's a lot of great content on the Speed Gaming family of channels.
Doesn't look like the end card's giving out anything else helpful other than those clouds. Saw I got a music box and I think a star.
And another music box.
Sharky not doing so well with the clip, deciding to play through 7-6 the long way. Whereas Leslie Pro is into the first Fortress of World 6, the Elevator Fortress.
See, I always played 7-6 the long way because I never knew about the clip.
I always just took a P-Wing and flew over it. You can do that in 7-6, not 7-1 though. Leslie Pro about to finish up with Boom Boom. And the airship that we're going to be seeing is World 1.
World 1 with Iggy.
Who's a 5-hitter.
Yikes.
Now, I haven't noticed it on Sharky's board, but has he had the opportunity to play the end card yet?
He has. He did very briefly.
Sharky trying
he did not get any. He did not get any items out of it.
King, they do not call you the Wanderer. Stop pretending. You're sitting on your throne. You're not wandering anywhere. So this is what you save the hammers for. World 1. If you break that lock, you can get 3 levels for the price of 1 hammer.
Oh yes. And it's another level with the stupid electric jellyfish.
Sharky's got the end card. He's going to go back and play it. See if we can get any of those clouds. On Leslie gets cheap to death.
And I do not blame him for... clouding past that level and trying to make sure that he gets through this next one.
I don't know. I don't think I would have clouded through it. I think that the fear of the unknown would have been too much for me, because this very easily could have been 5-9.
Remind me which one 5-9 is?
The one that auto-scrolls with all the obnoxious fire chomps.
I have never had problems with 5-9.
Problem with 5-9 is just it's an auto-scroller. It's one of the only ones in the rando.
Well, and it's an auto-scroller because it has to be an auto-scroller, because otherwise the platforms might not appear at the right place.
I was thinking he was going to burn both of the clouds to just skip through the whole thing, but he opted not to.
Oh, no, I wouldn't use both clouds there. I don't blame him for using the one to get through, to get out of that chain, or out of the, electric jellyfish level.
So we had the World 3 airship, and we're moving on to Larry Koopa. Who's a 4-hit. Sharky playing with some Boomerang brothers in the water.
And decides to use a Starman to get through that. I did not see what Princess's letter had.
I missed it as well. Leslie is now into the ice beta level. Looks like a combination of 3-2 and 6-4.
It's quick. I've seen worse levels than that.
Leslie probably going to finish up the end card here. And the end card does not have any hammers living in it. P-Wing and Tanuki suit, though. That's not bad. This looks to be another beta stage. Looks like beta 5-3. Ooh, and Sharky gets sledged.
And we've got Big Berthas.
Leslie taking a pit stop in the Mushroom House, getting another Tanuki suit.
Never a bad idea to check those mushroom houses.
And a solo Boomerang brother stands between him and an item.
And that item is P-Wing.
P-Wing, not a bad item to get. And 5-3 becomes the Sand Pit.
Angry Sun level.
But Angry Sun has been replaced with a much less fitting foe. We have a Boss Bass in the desert.
A much less fitting but much, much more annoying foe.
And Leslie almost got gulped by taking his time in the quicksand pit. Sharky looks to be finishing up 1-6 right about now.
And Leslie Pro gets another P-Wing.
Sharky gonna try his luck at the end card once more. So the tower is an interesting level because it's one of the few levels in the randomizer that isn't actually randomized due to its significance in World 5. The tower is kind of what you need to do in order to get up to Sky World and Tourney Flags 1.
Well, I believe also in Tourney Flags 2.
Tourney Flags 2, you could get up there with just a regular old pipe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I never remember where the fort that Sharky is in is. I just remember it as Damage Boost Fort.
It's the first fortress of World 6. And as Leslie makes his way to the sky, he instead finds giant enemies in 4-1.
I always liked 4-1. I liked all of the World 4 levels.
I didn't like 4-3.
I found World 4 to be a ridiculously fun world.
It was also a little bit of the break after a long and grueling World 3.
Well, there is that as well.
So Sharky playing the World 1 airship, getting ready to have his confrontation with Larry Koopa.
Iggy.
Oh, Iggy, right. World 4.
So if you are enjoying this race so far, give these guys a follow. Give these two runners a follow, because I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
They're doing an awesome job. Oh, Leslie got a death.
That had to be a cheap.
Is he going to go the other way? Looks like it. And he finds Small Tank. So I guess the good thing about Small Tank is at the end of it, you will get an item of some kind. Sharky now going through World 1, taking the advantage and going right into Jellyfish Land. Leslie Pro trying the Small Tank again.
Well, it's a relatively easy level.
With the auto-scrolling turned off, yes.
Even with the auto-scrolling on, it's not difficult.
It's just long with the auto-scrolling on.
That's true.
Sharky clearing out the jellyfish world and going right into 3-2. And Leslie's reward for persistence will be a leaf.
And Leslie Pro finds Koopa Air Force as the fortress here.
And Sharky drowns to death.
Now, I will say Koopa Air Force, with the auto-scrolling on, is very hairy.
Yeah, I would usually take a P-Wing and just fly over this thing. I always try to save one up for that.
I never wanted to waste a P-Wing on it. I would spend a leaf on it when I had one, but if I didn't already have one. But I never wanted to spend a P-Wing on that. They were too important for like 8-1, 8-2.
I always took the Sand of Shame on 8-2, so P-Wing didn't really help me there. And Leslie Pro just deciding to burn both of his clouds and a P-Wing to try to get through this World 2 airship.
I wonder if he thinks he's behind.
I mean, I think it's just a heads-up play. He's got him. Roy Cooper was a one-hitter. Sharky about to finish up with the airship, and Larry Koopa. There's just a whole lot going on here.
And Leslie Pro is about... Leslie Pro is one full world ahead.
So the king is reminding us, if you're enjoying the stream, to subscribe. I would just say follow the runners. So we get World 7 now, which is an interesting world because depending on how the pipe layout goes, you can get a very quick World 7 or a very long World 7.
And World 7 beta here, and it's a quick World 7, by the way.
The only interesting thing about that waterfall level is if you're unlucky and you're swimming too fast, you could clip through the level and have to wait the timer out. Sharky finding himself in the icy water level.
That is that one? That's 1-3 on Leslie Pro's side.
And the question is he opting to take the item? Looks like it.
Looks like he is.
Not a bad play here. Now, before people ask, it's not going to be a whistle. Whistles have been taken out of the randomizer. It's going to be some other random item. Like a frog suit.
Frog suit.
Which he's going to bring into the World 4 Fortress. Sharky spending some time in the beta level, seeing all it has to offer.
And a nice little damage boost there.
And Leslie Pro is out of that fortress. Another set of levels that isn't randomized are these Piranha levels. Because of their nature and the fact that they're kind of instrumental to the way World 7 functions, they're not randomized.
And they're also the World 7 equivalent of Hammer Brothers.
If you wanted to use a music box to put them to sleep, it would look quite comical. And Leslie finding himself in the World 6 airship makes quick work of it. And we find Ludwig at the end.
Five-hit Ludwig.
Now, what Leslie would try to go for, but was unsuccessful, was the infamous wand clip. If you can catch that wand right at the top of the screen, you can skip the entire Mario falling down sequence. It saves about 4 or 5 seconds. King, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You are not a hobbit.
So, World 6 is our final world, and let's see where this first pipe takes us. Sad. So, if you're lucky, that pipe will bring you to the second half of World 6. You can skip the first 3 levels. But that is not what we find. Instead, we find 7-2 and our good friend Boss Bass.
Boss Bass is never fun to find.
There are some runners who would argue that.
Well, they would be wrong.
Leslie's still playing the end cards. Sometimes runners will stop playing them in the end game, depending on their collection of items. Sharky wanting to break that lock, but does not have a hammer to do so, so he's just going to have to play around the long way. And Leslie
World 5 beta.
Yes, there are some people who like 7F2. I'm not one of them. Leslie going for the coin ship. And getting a star for his trouble. That was kind of prophetic. We have Piranha Fortress, 7 Fortress 2. Some runners do not like this fortress. Some runners do love this fortress.
Some people eat spam. There's no accounting for the taste of some people.
I don't think I would have thought of that analogy, comparing a fortress to spam. Well, Leslie Pro makes it through the first half of Piranha Fort, just having to get through the second half. Fortunately, the enemies weren't too bad. Just a boo and a dry bones.
That's my go-to analogy on there's no accounting for the taste of some people.
Sharky deciding to give the end card another go. Making his way very nicely through the end of World 5.
And that is the World 6 auto-scroller on Leslie Pro's side. Meanwhile, Sharky is fighting Koopa Air Force.
Leslie Pro contending against a couple of Fire Brothers. Deciding to take a star in against them.
And he gets a star right back.
So
We've got a hand level down here on Sharky's side.
Leslie Pro skipped both of these levels, so it might be in Sharky's interest, because the hand level will give him an item at the end. And Leslie Pro dies to waterfalls.
Well, don't go chasing waterfalls.
And the prize for beating a hand stage will be a P-Wing. So the randomizer will keep all the items from the hand stages the same, but it is a random item. So Sharky has found his way into 4-4.
Okay, this might have been the one level in 4 that I didn't like.
Leslie Pro finding 5-1. Now, what some people might not know is there is an item available to you in 5-1 if you fly up right at the start of the level. It's not really a fast strat, so it's not something our runners necessarily will do, but if you're playing casually and you want to go check it out, it's up there.
And Conveyor Belt Fortress.
Featuring a star. That's a little bit of good luck on Leslie's side. Sharky getting his hand on a cloud.
Hey, you, get off of my cloud.
He's on his way to his confrontation with Roy after the World 2 airship.
Good old one-hit Roy. And then very fast level 7.
If Sharky is lucky and takes the same routing, if he decides to go a different direction, then his World 7 could be vastly different from Leslie's.
Well, I think every runner, I think any runner would check all 3 of those pipes.
And Leslie gets sniped by a fireball. Wanting nothing to do with Piranha Alley, he's gonna cloud his way over it. And 6-9.
And he's going to use a P-Wing on Underwater Fortress.
But the two... Oh, Sharky did make some good routing decisions. He has found his way to that third island. He's playing the waterfall. He is poised to try and catch back up. Now, using the 2 clouds like Leslie did was a pretty heads-up play because clouds aren't necessarily going to be super important in World 8, so if he can just kind of burn a couple of them here and get a huge advantage, more power to him. And using a music box for the heck of it.
And Leslie Pro in airship number
4.
Okay. Uh-oh. Getting him a Starman right there.
Thing about the Starman is it doesn't automatically KO the Koopa Kids. You still have to hit them on top of the head a few times.
Please have your Koopaling spayed or neutered.
King,
Thanks. Thank you, Bob Barker.
You are not Bob Barker. Don't pretend to be Bob Barker.
And a Tanuki suit from Princess to head into World 8 with. And Tanks is 8-2.
Now, depending on the runner, some will take that quicksand right at the start of the level.
You referred to it as the Sand of Shame?
That's what some people refer to it as, yes. Leslie's just going to try to fly through. And Sharky snipes his boss bass with a fireball. Hard part about 7-2 is if you don't have flight, you're going to have to build the bridge. And with a boss bass there, you're a lot more susceptible to an unfair kill. And Leslie gets his way through 8-2. First pipe brings him to the hand bridge. He probably doesn't want to be there. So he's going to go play the Navy. Which is actually the World 3 Fortress, otherwise known as Fortress of Doors.
Door 6 Fortress.
Starts off by going to Door 5 to pick up a mushroom. And again to pick up a leaf. Sharky now playing his coin chip. Opting to pick up as many coins as he can get.
And getting a star for his troubles.
Leslie not really liking what he finds. He's going to have to play the hand bridge anyway. First off, finding 3-7.
With an angry sun.
But 3-7 is like 5-1. There is an item to be had here if you wanted it. Sharky playing through 5-3. And getting his fireball.
But it's 5-3 with no Kuribo's shoe.
He decides to go the other way and finds himself in the World 5 beta level.
And then Leslie Pro is in, I believe that's 3-1.
Sure is. The level that teaches you sometimes it's okay to take the high road. And Sharky now finds himself in Piranha Fortress. Since he doesn't have a hammer, he's got no choice but to try to beat it. Interesting route taken by Leslie here in the World 8 Fortress.
I was gonna say I thought that was Fortress 8.
Sharky making the decision to P-Wing through Piranha Fortress.
Don't blame him a lick for that.
Same. Run as fast as you can, Leslie. And run right into a disco waffle. Oh, and he gets dragged into a hand stage.
Not just a hand stage, 8-1.
That death was intentional. He did not want to play that stage, so he just decided to try his hand against fate. Sharky making it through the first third of World 6. Going through the pipe. And finding sadness. Leslie unable to make it in one cycle, so he's going for the second cycle. And now going for the third cycle.
Nice boom boom kill with the Starman.
So let's see where this brings Leslie. To a dark place. His intuition correct, he is now at the Valley of Bowser, and Sharky gets gulped by a boss bass.
And then this is Sky Fort.
Wait, is there 2 boss basses here in 4-2?
Yes, there are 2 boss basses.
And Leslie can't make his way past the hot foot and gets lava'd out.
And Leslie completes that fortress and is on to Bowser's Castle.
And Bowser's Castle being the epic finale, there is no randomization here, you're always facing Bowser at the end.
And Leslie gets the clip through.
Sharky still making his way through World 6. Decides to burn a cloud over 6-7 and go right for the Carpet Fortress. Here we go. Leslie's epic showdown with Bowser begins. Now, if any of you guys want a cool parlor trick, as you notice, Leslie isn't taking any damage from Bowser. Bowser's hitbox only exists in the top half, so if he continues just to duck, he'll never be hit by Bowser. And Bowser's down. Everyone get your GG chat for Leslie Pro 04. Leslie Pro winning this race with an official SRL time of 53 minutes and 27 seconds.
That.
And Princess Peach in there deciding to be Leslie Nielsen in an airplane.
So Sharky just about to finish up with World 6. Even though Sharky has not won the race, he really should finish the seed out, because if he forfeits, then that will add a 2-hour time constraint to his average, which if he makes it into the bracket round will not bode well for his placement. And Sharky finishing up in the battle against Lemmy, and he'll be starting World 8 momentarily.
So if you've enjoyed this race, stick around, because we've got another one with these same two racers coming up right afterwards.
The only difference is they're going to be playing on the other flag set, which has a lot more random elements and a lot more fun.
I will agree with that.
Now let's see if Sharky decides to take the quicksand. Nope. He's just gonna P-wing over the level.
I don't blame him. That's what I would do on this level.
So the interesting thing about this roaming Cheep Cheep is it spawns on whatever level Mario is at. So you always want to try to keep that Cheep Cheep kind of away from you in order to do well against it. So Leslie Pro's in the setup room, and I'm curious to see if he wants to come in for an interview. Meanwhile, Sharky taking on the Magical Door Fortress. Oh, and Sharky takes the wrong door. He's trying it again, though. There we go, now he's got door 6. And very quickly and easily takes care of Boom Boom. Leslie Pro, welcome! How are you tonight? Good game, sir.
Thanks. Doing well, but the start of that seed, that just felt like an awful headache, because, like, there's a plus and a negative with a free World 3. The negative at the start of a seed is you're really just running your head at something, and you sometimes hit a wall.
Yeah, I noticed that both of you guys had some significant troubles with Wendy Koopa.
Yeah, and then I had a headache in World 8-4, as well as a few other spots that I felt just did not go well, like missed jumps, missed inputs. Stuff that I have to clean, naturally. Although I have to admit, I got fooled by Bowser, because I thought he was coming down. Nope, he was just doing a big jump. And I'm like, okay, just one more stomp. Alright, whatever.
So what did you think about the amount of hammers and clouds you got from this seed?
I honestly think there were hammers in World 3, but again, that's one of the negatives of World 3 being free, is that if there are hammers there, you're not getting them. And if that's the case, then, well, naturally we both missed out, but it certainly made for a bit of a challenge. Cloud-wise, we were in a good spot because the end card game was loaded, so if you played that well, you definitely got a fair share of clouds in this seed.
I mean, and your cloud usage was pretty excellent. You clouded over a couple of stages, like 2 or 3 in a row, and just kind of snowballed.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see. Cloud back to back.
At that point, I felt like that was going to be my best spot to use my remaining clouds, so I went for it, and it turned out to be a good play, because I wasn't chancing on going into anything nasty, because I was expecting World 8 for it to potentially be there, so I covered my bases. I would have been fine with a frog suit.
Speaking of World 8 Fort, that's where Sharky finds himself right now. Oh.
And then to make matters worse, after I died at 8 Fort, I get grabbed by the third hand, which was 8-1, and I'm like, this is just insult to injury. No. By the way, where on earth were the hand stages? I never ran into a single one.
You clouded over at least one of them.
Yeah, that sounds like my luck in a nutshell right there. Probably missed something not useful, like a music box or something.
Or a P-Wing.
They were P-Wings, yeah.
I might have been able to use one of those, but it's alright. It worked out.
Indeed. Are you amped for your upcoming Tourney Flag 2 race?
Now that should be a lot of fun, especially with how things can be randomized to even more possibilities, possible locations. That can create for some madness.
I've seen some pretty good madness in the Tourney Flag 2s.
Sharky making his way through the World 8 Fortress. Stuck behind the dry bones, waiting in traffic.
Yeah, that dry bones gave me a bit of trouble, too.
I think the best part for Sharky at this point is all he has to do is just navigate his way through the rest of the maze, and he's good to go.
Yeah, I was fortunate that it was just the one pipe in the maze you could get to right away. Because if it had been the pipe behind the lock and Sharky had a hammer, I could have been in big trouble. Even with hammers on a shortage this season.
I mean, the pipes were pretty generous to you guys all around, like World 3, World 7, World 8. The only place that didn't have a nice pipe was World 6.
And that would have been the real nice place to have it, because 7F2 is arguably my least favorite fortress stage of all of them.
It's that or Sky Fort for me.
Which is where Sharky is right now, playing through the lava fort.
Yeah, I took a bad break on that hot foot there, which my second time through, because I decided at that point, okay, I need to take the fire flower to the end, or try to, which I almost pulled off. A Trolley Bowser Fireball said no to that, however, but I did get it through that level, which helped. Strange that that hot foot despawned on my second pass through. Like, I would have liked that the first time.
Sharky finishing up with Boom Boom. He's now headed into Bowser's Castle. The other thing we were short on this seed was hammer suits.
I was just about to ask about that. I presume Sharky didn't find one either.
Nope.
Must have been in one of the Toad houses. Or in 7-8, but I was having no part of that level.
Sharky decided to take a P-Wing into Bowser's Castle.
Good strategy to use.
And gets every man's clip.
That clip is a bit tougher when you've got a Boo chasing you.
Sharky now enters Bowser's room. Time for the epic confrontation.
Also, this is a pretty cool trick to show off to your friends if they've never known about Bowser's hitbox for this game. You'll surprise a few people.
And Bowser's down. Let's get some GGs in chat for Sharky. And Sharky finishes second in this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 52 seconds.
GG. Oh dear.
And Leslie, I will say it's always fun to see you running stuff.
Thanks, it's always fun to be playing randomizers. And speaking of, I did see something new that I want to try out at some point. There's a Super Mario RPG Open Rando that's currently in beta. I was watching that before race time. Looks like fun.
Really?
Yeah, there's a few folks that have been testing that out. And I've seen some good... It looks like fun, so I'll have to give that a try at some point.
Well, I know you and I have always had... you and I have a history with Link to the Past Randomizer.
Yep. That tournament... My last 4 races of that tournament, I was under the weather, but I still carried through.
So here on the Speed Gaming and Randomania and Game Racing Channel family of everything, there's all kinds of fun tournaments going on. Super Mario Bros. 3 tournament, randomizer tournament. There's a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Plandomizer tournament. There's Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise tournaments. You can find almost anything you want here on the Speed Gaming and Randomania families of channels. Speaking of, these two gentlemen are going to be racing again shortly with Tourney 2 flags.
In about 15 minutes.